Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Look at that beautiful bench slash coffee table size object. You know, it's really important, let me tell you, as a woodworker that's been doing this for a long time, it's really important that after you finish a project, that you take the time to just leave the mess and just push it to the side and immediately start a new project, because logic, right? Time is money. Cleanliness is overrated. So I'm gonna get to cutting some of this steel here for my heat shield for my fireplace up there. So I've got the this is gonna be the Hearth. This is the plate of steel that I'm putting on the ground. Oh God, what are you doing? Why don't you go and dig up some rocks and make a nice rock hearth and build a stone chimney like all the other off-grid people? Because I don't want to. The whole point is for this to take up as little space as possible. So steel on the floor is going to protect the wood, and a metal heat shield behind the fireplace is going to protect the walls. And I'm going to spray it with some vinegar or whatever, and let's just let it rust. It'll look kind of cool. Okay? And it's very functional at protecting things. And it's not a messy operation. I just cut it, screw it in. You know, sometimes the samurai needs a break too, Sometimes I just can't do everything to 100% perfectionist, Sometimes the industry standard is standard enough for me. I'm not this fancy schmancy prima donna woodworker guy, okay? So what? I build amazing things that blow people's minds all the time. Every once in a while I just want to build something that's all right, cool. It keeps me grounded. This is like a grounding project for me, okay? Okay. David. Just cut the hearth, David. There you go, hearth plate. Boom. It's gonna look gorgeous. So I've got some marks on here. You can see my lines. There-ish. So that's where the bends are gonna be, right? So each side's gonna be bent up 45 degrees. So I gotta take this over to my friend's shop, John's place over at Pacific Coast Metal Craft there, and he's got a brake that can bend that. That's a 1/16 inch thick plate, so not too easy to bend. And I was like, I could cut it and weld it, but then it's just a bunch of mess and work. It'll take 5 seconds over at the shop, and then I can just shear off the excess right here in 2 seconds with their big shear. So pays to have the right tools or the right friends. Yeah, this should do the trick. Good enough. Art. Pretty close. Alright. You demand, Malcolm. Let's see if I sheared it to the right side. Looks good to me. So I would have undersized this 1/8 of an inch. Now that's a big variable for me, because typically I want everything to fit perfectly, but I measured up there, the space was 28.5. So I made this 28 3/8. So it should just slide in there, but I need to grind off any of these welds, right? Because they're sticking out a little bit. So I'm gonna just grind down my little spot welds here. I'm not so worried if they're sticking out the back a little bit. They're not too proud here. Mostly just like on the side. So I need to kind of grind that back flush just so it can slide in between the two little posts up at on the wall without any trouble. Time to cut me that there profile. All loaded up, got the fire heat shield. Finally got my chart plotter working. Fixed all the gauges. I am just loving life. Well, the fire's crackling. We got out here before sunset. Yes, I did buy the party size bag of Maltesers. They're gonna last me the whole week, okay? That was my justification. I'm up here for a full week. So I needed the the bulk pack. Probably gonna be gone tonight, but you know, that's cool. Cool thing is, when I showed up here, came through the door, it was actually warm in here. Can you believe that? I think because of this, obviously because of the south-facing windows and the west-facing window, and the fact that the place is pretty well insulated, it kind of has a greenhouse effect on a sunny day. Sun just comes in here, warms the place up. It's really nice. But now the sun's down, it's time for the wood stove. Come on, little fan. Do your fan thing. Well, it's a beautiful day here at the lake. Got great visibility once again. So, yeah, got my little work fire going here. And I'm gonna install that heat shield. But in order to do that, I've got to climb up on the roof, take that little chimney cap off, and then I gotta push the pipe up from the inside because it's not attached anywhere, it's just floating. So I'm gonna push the pipe up, the chimney pipe in here, push it up a section so that I can take out the top section because they're like 2-foot pieces that are all attached together. And the top section's actually kind of really clogged up with like creosote and stuff because the wood is not totally dry. So I'm gonna push that one up, take the dirty section out, the highest section, clean that all out, put the heat shield and everything, move the fireplace out of the way. And then once the heat shield and everything's back in place, I'll put the fireplace back in and then put that dirty section of pipe kind of at the bottom. So I'm just kind of pushing it up, moving a section to the bottom, cleaning it all out. So that, oh yeah. Probably should have checked which way the wind was going before I started my work fire because I'm going to be breathing in smoke all day now. So I left these just sitting out on the boat last night to see if they might rust up a bit. That was facing out when I was on the boat ride, so I think a bunch of water and just condensation gathered on that because that's rusting up pretty nice. This stayed pretty dry, so it's not rusting as much. This one is definitely getting some patina on it. I didn't spray them with vinegar or anything. I think I'm just gonna let them naturally do what they do with just like wood resin and stuff on them. I think they'll develop a pretty cool patina. Let's get these things installed. All right, let's see if this thing fits into place. The hearth fit perfect. And I know this fits on top of the hearth, so I'm anticipating. Oh, look at that, that's beautiful. Obviously I want that to be tight there. Now there's like I left it so that there's like a 1/4-inch gap. So I'm gonna put a little wood spacer block, probably there, one in the middle and one at the bottom on my other side. So like 3 little screws. And then it's spaced 1/4 of an inch off the corner of the wood here. So there's an air gap there. Obviously there's air space behind here. So, and then the fireplace just sits on there, and then I can finish my last piece of baseboard. Let's do this. Looks good, I think. I might spray it with some vinegar just to give it a little rustiness. But it'll also just kind of oxidize and rust a bit and just kind of get pitch and sap on it and kind of develop its own patina, right? I'm all about that patina. Doesn't really, like, I don't think it's gonna go anywhere, but I just figured I want to hold it in place. I'm chopping wood on there, it might kind of rattle. And I don't want like stuff getting stuck underneath it, so. any like black screws. I was like, I could use stainless, but then they'd stand out. I think these nails look really cool. So I've ripped 2 1/4-inch strips here. I'm just going to tuck one behind each side. And I put it back about 1/2 inch, and then I'll drill my holes here. Same thing over there. All right, so I think a lot of wood fire companies, I don't know for sure, but I have spotted a few, smaller stoves anyways, that have an external air input into them. I don't know why all wood stoves, especially modern nowadays stoves, don't have an outside air intake, and why fireplaces don't have like a vent tube that comes into the fireplace. So that, because essentially as a fireplace is burning, it's pulling air in to feed the fire through the air intake, and that air has to come into the building, right? It's pulling it in like a vacuum. So I don't understand why new stoves don't all use an external air vent, like just run a little pipe into your fireplace or your, masonry, like put it in there when you're building your chimney or whatever, and then just have that connect right to the stove. So then the stove is pulling outside air directly through a vent pipe, which creates no draw to pull cold air into your house whatsoever. So then the air inside your house just heats up, and you're not fighting to heat the cold air that the stove is drawing in, right? It's almost like it's a self-defeating, right? That's why a lot of people have moved away from wood stoves, because they're inefficient in that way. But it's like, the stoves are working better now. Now we just need to get the better air source to them. So what I'm doing is I'm drilling a hole, 2.5-inch hole. I've got a PVC pipe that I'm going to line the hole with. So right about, like the fireplace is at about 14 inches. So I'm going to go at about 13 inches. So the air intake is kind of just below where the air intake on the stove is. So this will give me my fresh air intake and keep the cabin from being, well, it's not really drafty, but I haven't put a weather strip on the bottom of the door yet, so. I can see light through there, so I can go out to the outside now. Finish it. Finish it. Well, that just dated me. This should make a few marks. Here and there. So I got some more room there to be able to, split wood or whatever. I might even get a little chunk or small little round that I can split kindling and stuff on. I know a lot of people do that outside, but I don't know. I like to be able to just split the kindling right in front of the stove as I need it. A little looser than I would have liked, but that isn't too tight. So I think I'm just going to drill one hole here and one hole there and just put a little nail there and there. Everything else is, gravity will just hold the bottom in place, and the weight of the wood on top of it's not going to go anywhere. Yeah, looks good.